Welcome to this week's episode of Regal's Rundown, here with UMC's women's basketball coach, Mike Roysland. How you doing today, Mike?
Good to be here.
It's awesome. So, you are entering your 13th season here in women's basketball. Yeah, for sure. How do you feel about that?
You know, I'm excited. I'm having fun. I mean, I said this to Sean earlier in an interview before that, I mean, I really enjoy the group that we have. I enjoy doing what I'm doing on a daily basis, and you know, those are two positives. And I'm excited about what we've got, the potential that we have this year. I think things are moving along at a good place. I'm actually kind of nervous and kind of anxious to see what we can really do once we get out there in a live setting against somebody else, because we got a lot of different pieces to the puzzle this year. And like I said, I'm excited where we're at, and we got to get better every day. But I'm looking forward to it, and I think the kids are having a great time too.
Right, absolutely. They always say do something that you like, and you'll never work another day in your life. So it really shows that that's what you're doing. So.
Yeah.
How have you seen the program change since you first came in 2006?
Well, I think it's come in a really nice direction. I mean, I really think that you know we've had some setbacks, but it was steady improvement. You know, I mean, first year it was just really difficult, and slowly the program changed, and we built it up, and with the help of a lot of players and a lot of good coaches and some fortunate situations. And basically it's the players that have really made this. But I think the belief factor is that when I first started here, I think there was, you know, we were able to change the culture where our program believed that now we can be successful. I think our program, our players believe that we can get back to the Pentagon. I think the first time that we made the top 8 in the league and had to go on the road, and then we went from there to you know, to winning 2 home playoff games and 1 playoff game on the road. So we've been at the Pentagon the last 3 out of the 4 years, and we want to get back there and try to find a way to get this program to another level.
Right.
And where we're contending for a conference champion, no different than anybody else. But I think, you know, to really answer your question, I think the belief factor is there. I think that we have been able to you know, get in the type of talent that we need, and along with the situation where everybody understands that the goal is to keep moving this thing forward.
Right, and you know, especially when your athletes start putting the team first.
Exactly.
You guys really start to take off, and you've done a great job with that. Like you said, to the Pentagon the last 3 of the 4 years. You guys have had some great years here, and we expect no less this year.
Well, we're sure hoping so. It's kind of one of those things that any team with any program, and you know this very well, you got to stay healthy, and you have to play up to the type of potential. I mean, at this particular point, everybody in the conference is undefeated and really positive, and the rest of it will all shake out, you know, as we get playing, and at the end of the season, you'll be able to reflect back and say what kind of year this was. I like the type of intensity that our kids are putting forth right now, and the focus that they have. And I think those are 2 big things, that they're working hard, they've got the focus in the right direction, and they expect that they want to be very successful. And so it's not kind of one of these things where we've got something to prove, and we know that we need to go out there and do it every night. It's one thing to talk about it, and it's another thing to do it.
Right. Well, and you talk about intensity. You have 2 senior captains, E.C. Odor and Caitlin Michaels. Probably 2 of the most intense players out there. How have they done, and how is their role right now, being leaders on the court and off the court? I
think they've done a marvelous job as of today. I mean, I think that, you know, we've got a lot of new players, and we've got 8 freshmen in this year, but with their leadership skills, and not only those 2, what they have brought to the table. First of all, they're better. They've gotten better in the off season. I was able to recognize that the first day that they showed up that they both have improved. So they're taking care of their own doorstep. And then I'd like to say that about the rest of our returners as well too. That I feel really confident that they got something accomplished at home, and we can see that. And I think everybody's got the mindset that you know we're gonna be better. So it starts with them getting better, and then putting the team first, and then trying to get all these newcomers and these freshmen up to speed. So, you know, it's been a great start by those two, and they're going to have to lead by example. Those two are going to have big nights for us to be successful. Not so much in terms that they have to score, but they have to set the tone for how our team should be playing.
Right.
And I think we've got more weapons this year, but at the same time, they have to go out there in a leadership role to follow my lead, because this is how we're going to do things.
Right, right. And you talk about young players, 8 freshmen this year. What have they shown you so far, and what are some ways that you're looking for them to improve, and what are some things you're expecting out of them this year?
They need to chip in.
Okay.
You know, and I think that we've got that. I think it's been a roller coaster for them. There's no doubt. We've got a little bit of injury situation with a couple of our bigs, but I think that, you know, Bren Fox and Julie Ploplinski are both going to be back. But I like what we have. I mean, we've got more depth this year than I've had in our program since I've been here, and so I'm really pleased about that. And I have to understand that these players are freshmen, but I think there's a lot of them that are getting up to speed that they're going to help us, and they're going to help us early on. So I'm really excited that we have that potential where I can throw one of these freshmen in the starting lineup. I don't need to be afraid to bring in freshmen in off the bench, because there again, I think we've got just a nice blend of different skill set out of different players. So That's really going to help us on the depth end, and it's going to help us on that, you know, bringing the whole pieces to the puzzle for our team's success to be more successful.
Right, right. And depth it gets even bigger as the season goes on. You know,
exactly.
You start to get plagued by injuries, and people are getting tired. You know,
a little bit of sickness, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You're
right.
Absolutely right.
Right. So it gives you a great opportunity. You guys have 2 exhibition games coming up,
sure.
University of North Dakota and Northwestern St. Paul.
Right.
What are some things that you're expecting to get from the team out of these exhibition games?
Well, I think to try to set the tone for how we're going to try to play, and it's
okay.
be a great opportunity for people to get their feet wet. I mean, we've had it handed to us over at UND before, and we've played them really close before. So,
right.
You know, I'm really anxious to you go from one end of the spectrum to the other. That's normally just jump right into the fire over there. And if you don't do things really correctly right away, you're not exactly you're getting stomped on, and you're getting stomped on hard. But
right.
on the other hand, too, it's good for them to get their feet wet to say, you know what, basketball is still just basketball. It doesn't matter what the level is or whatever. If you play it right, the same things that work against UND will work against Northwestern.
Right.
So we're excited about that. And then obviously with Northwestern, you know, I'm hoping through these exhibitions that it'll help prepare us for when we get to start the regular season, and so people can kind of get the jitters out and get some of the shakes out and try to figure out what they can do and how their role should be defined and or played as we're moving forward.
Right, and then just develop a little bit of that consistency and, you know, the team core and the work together. You know,
exactly. I think you should start coaching.
Well, maybe we'll see. You know. It's definitely a good opportunity for you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Then you'll move into conference play, and of course non-conference right away, but then into conference play, and you know you guys will be ready just like you have been.
It's always to try to prepare yourself for the conference play, and
right.
I think that we've got a great non-conference schedule, and I think that the 2 exhibitions that are non-conference will really help prepare us for the most important pieces moving into the conference schedule. So we want to try to build some momentum. We want to try to find out our strengths and where we need improvements and those areas, and so we try to get it all tied together to be the best we can once we open up with Bemidji.
Absolutely. Well, last question, Coach.
Okay.
A lot of people probably don't know this, but on the side, you do farming, and we talk about if you do something you like, you're never going to work another day in your life. Well, I'm sure you love it because it's been a family farm.
Right.
But what exactly do you farm, and how long has this farm been in your family?
Oh, I've been farming since, so it's been a family farm forever. So I'm the last one in my family that's farming, and I farm about 650 acres, about half of it. I'm a really small guy. Half of it's soybeans and half of it's wheat, and my soybeans I raise for seed for AgroMax, and so it's a lot like coaching. It's I get great pleasure of seeing improvement. It's a different type of thing for me. It's a chance just to get away and plant some seeds in the ground and see it grow, and then the fun part is when you get a chance to harvest it, and it's a lot like coaching that. When you bring players in, you get a chance to see them when they first start, and hopefully you see them grow, and when at the end of the day they're at their best, and then you start it all over again another year. So it's a nice mix for me. Obviously, I enjoy them both very much, and two kind of different things. I like to hear the purr of a motor in a combine or the track and just kind of relax, and I don't have to do these interviews and be on top of talking and everything else. I can just sit back and let the machine do its work.
Right.
And yet on the other side, it gives me time to really think about all the things that I want to get done on the court and reflect things.